good finality to the week. I thought the kids have had a great week of prep. Have really got kind of a chip on their shoulder, and I like the prep that they've done. So we look forward to getting back into the Coliseum, playing a good Arizona team, with two teams staying at the top of the Pac-12 South. So this is a huge game for both squads. So we look forward to having the opportunity to compete Saturday night. With that, I'll take any questions that you got.
Any chance any of those guys in the secondary play this week?
ITS practiced some today. He got about 6 periods in, moved around, looked good. We'll do some more tomorrow. I think it's going to be more of a game time decision. He's pushing as hard as he can, wants to play. OG is feeling better today, has not practiced this week. He's going to move around a little bit tomorrow, but I think that's more doubtful than probable. Greg, like I said, is definitely out for this game.
What about EA?
EA has not practiced this week, still in the boot, so we'll go with Kanai in that area.
Tyler Bonds was dressed yesterday.
Yeah, he just had a little back stiffness, and he's a guy that's had a lot of reps, both in practice and in games. He's a high rep guy. Just needed a day to get back. He practiced today, looked good.
When you say the team is showing you they have a chip on his shoulder, how are you seeing that?
Just in their attitude with practice, the way they're competing, and they know what's at stake. You have the opportunity to go win a Pac-12 championship and go to a Rose Bowl. That's a serious thing, and for us, we know how special that is. I've liked their approach all week, the approach that they've taken, and I look forward to watching them on Saturday night carry it over from practice to the game.
Is it any different than last week?
When you look at last week, I thought they went to South Bend. When you go to South Bend, Indiana, and you play a top 10 team and you take them to the brink, you must have played some pretty good ball. Some things didn't go our way in the first half offensively and a little bit defensively, and we came up 3 points short. But they made a stride ahead, a step ahead in my mind, with the way they played and the clean football they played. And now it's the consistency of doing that against these next 6 conference opponents.
The first time you guys faced Khalil Tate, he was kind of right in the middle of his breakout stretch a couple of years ago. Do you remember just kind of preparing for him amid that stretch a couple of years ago?
Yeah, it was different. It was different, and he's progressed so much as a quarterback. I even showed the team. I mean, he's doing such a nice job now of keeping his eyes up. He's breaking contain, and he keeps his eyes up, and he's finding receivers downfield. I think we had 73 snaps of him getting off his spot, and he really only had 6 to 8 runs out of that. He's hitting guys downfield. He's showing himself as a passer. Where when he was a younger player, it was 1, 2, I'm out. Now he's going through full field progressions. He's becoming a pro football player. He really is, and he's a handful to deal with. He does some special things at special times.
What you thinking on nickel and the other corner? Do you think right now? How's that looking for you guys?
Yeah, we'll have Maxwell and at nickel. He'll start. Kalano back him up, and then obviously the safety positions. We've got Talanoa and Zay backed up by CJ and Chase Williams.
Graham kind of go ahead.
In the other corner, Steele and
we've got Chris, and we've got Jaden Williams over there. We got Darren, got Hewitt over there, and then we'll see where it's is at game time. But those are the 3 that have been rolling: is Dorian, Jaden, and Chris right now. And ITS got that work today.
Graham talked earlier this week about how you guys had fewer plays just on offense generally than he was used to when he was at North Texas. Have you seen him sort of had to adjust to that maybe in his game planning or
Yeah, it has to deal with the team that you're dealing with too. When you're playing, let's say a Stanford and a Washington and a Utah that huddle up, 2 of the 3 teams huddle, and they slow the game down. That's taking opportunities away. And then games are affected by third down efficiency. you know, all of a sudden you have a team like Notre Dame that goes 9 of 17. You get fewer opportunities, fewer plays. So what you're hoping for is great third down efficiency on your part, which we didn't do a great job of in the first half. Last week did a great job in the second half, going 75%, and you saw more plays. You know, you saw more plays arise. So we got an up-tempo team, a couple up-tempo teams coming up. So it's going to be about us. It's about getting them off the field, giving our opportunity to our offense, and then us staying on the field with the third downs.
Do you feel like it's more natural for Graham, especially as a play caller, when he does have maybe more plays to work with, longer drives?
You know, I thought he did a wonderful job in the second half. I mean, he came in at halftime and said, "Hey, we're gonna pick up the tempo a little bit here and go." And you know, our guys really fed off of it. And even in the 2-minute drive, I thought that was as impressive a drive as you could have, going down there and executing that drive. So it was great to see. It's something that I think our guys are really comfortable with. It's not only made us a great rhythm team, but it's also made us a good 2-minute team, as you've seen throughout the season.
Coach, what's the biggest thing you want to see from Keaton Saturday night?
Just the same, to be honest with you. I talked to him today, and I said, man, the difference that I saw with you between BYU and Notre Dame, I just thought he did a great job of his poise in the pocket and not forcing things. He's learning that sometimes those drop coverages, the pressure's not getting to you as fast as it does, and you can buy time, and he is a good athlete. And, you know, so I thought he made, when the ball, when things were open, and he was decisive. He made the play. You know, we had probably had about 8 snaps of man coverage that whole game. And the rest of the time he had to buy some time and let guys get open. And I thought that was a major step that he made. And I'm hoping to see that again this week.
Graham said that everything you guys see on film kind of basically isn't what you see on game days. How do you prepare Keaton for something like that?
Yeah, welcome to USC. That's been my whole 10 years here. You know, I think it's the nature of playing SC is, you know, it is big games for people, and they do bring extra to the park. And part of, you know, being not only a quarterback but a staff is being able to identify what's going on, and then make the changes that are needed. And I thought that got done the other night on Saturday. I really did. I thought we came out and said, all right, here's 2 or 3 looks that they haven't shown all year. You know, what are they? Where can we take advantage of? Communicate that to not only to the quarterback but the skill kids in the offensive line, and then move forward. And once everybody's on the same page, now you're humming. And like I said, we had some opportunities to win that game, but you look up and, I mean, the only team that's put 30 points on was Clemson. They scored 30, we scored 27, and we left some opportunities out there. So we're very, very close offensively, I think, to busting open, and I'm hoping it's this week.
You talked last Sunday about how the defense being a little bit more aggressive has sometimes led to more explosive plays for opposing offenses. When you have a guy who's as explosive as Khalil Tate and just generally that run game, is that something where maybe you think to handle that a little bit more conservatively in terms of being aggressive?
You know, I think Clancy's mixing it up nice. I mean, you've seen him play a ton of cover 2, kind of 4 under 3 deep. He's bringing pressures when he needs to, when he's anticipating running games. But, you know, being coordinators is a chess match. You know, you hope you're right more times than you're wrong. And, you know, Clancy's done a great job in his time here of being aggressive, great chess player. And you have to dial those pressures up. You just can't sit back all day and say, okay, here's 2 defenses, go have at it. You've got to be able to throw them off kilter with that aggressiveness, and that's who we are. I mean, that's our identity, is to bring pressure with our defense.
Go one more.
You've seen, if Notre Dame's going to play you like that, probably everybody is, I'm guessing, right? I mean, they're all going to.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, we've seen it from BYU, we've seen it from Washington. You know, Notre Dame has went to it. Everybody will have some form of it. But I told our kids, you know, it was, you know, when the chains start moving and the ball's being run effectively too, in that balance, what happened in that second half? All of a sudden you saw a lot more advantage coverages. You got man-to-man, the outsides became open. Tyler Vaughn comes into play, Pitt comes into play down in the red zone. So that's what's got to be able to happen. You got to be able to move the chains consistently where they go, all right, this isn't working. We've got to do something else. And whether that's through the run game, whether that's hitting the open spots and making yards after the catch, you got to move those chains and score points. And then they go, you know what, we've got to change up. So our effectiveness will lead to them making changes. All righty.